What's good, guys? How did you like the video you just saw? Let me know down in the comments. So now let's have a look at Apple Login Lowlight. I'll show you the behind the scenes, ungraded footage, what gear I used, what ISO values, a different color grade without film emulation with Dehancer plugin, and more. So here is the setup I used. iPhone 15 Pro Max in a Freewell Sherpa case, and in 80% of the shots I used the cinemorphic gold 1.33x Freewell Sherpa lens, with 1/4 snow mist filter to add a bit of bloom effect to the highlights. I also did use the Freewell Sherpa 70mm telephoto lens a few times, and I did some tests with the 18mm wide lens. The gimbal I used is Moza Aircross S, super lightweight and quite stable. I had to turn off the stabilization in Blackmagic Camera App completely, because it might give you weird results with the anamorphic lens. I used only the 1x camera, obviously because it gives you the best low light results. I used Blackmagic Camera App for better manual controls, H.265 codec for very reasonable file sizes. I shot mostly in 4K 50 frames per second and occasionally in 4K 25p when it was too dark. And my ISO values were between 400 and 2000 ISO, depending on the scene. And yes, sometimes it was very dark, as you might have noticed. During the shoot, I tried to find different objects on the foreground to enhance the feeling of movement and tried to move as slow as I could. And I was asking random people to be my models occasionally, and even was in the shot myself once. I also did use a lot of manual focus settings to fix the focus on the buildings far away, for the autofocus not to try to jump to people on the foreground. Of course, I was using the manual white balance and my favorite preview LUT from Alistair Chapman for -2 stops of exposure. It's free and I'll leave a link to it down below. The 1.33x Freewell Sherpa cinemorphic lens is a bit soft on the edges, which I like. But on some shots I added some extra blur on the sides with a built-in effect called Focus in Final Cut Pro 10. Also, this lens can sometimes bring you a bit overwhelming flares if there is a harsh source of light in the shot, but it wasn't that bad on my shoot and I did enjoy using this lens and a snow mist filter combo. Freewell also sells a 1.55x cinemorphic lens and I have a review of it, but the aspect ratio you get is a bit too narrow and the flares are too strong and saturated to my taste. The 70mm telephoto Freewell Sherpa lens showed very nice results and gave me a bit tighter perspective and better parallax effect, and its strong pincushion distortion doesn't seem to be a big issue. As I said, I did a few tests with the 18mm Freewell Sherpa lens. It's noticeably narrower than the 0.5x camera of the iPhone, but the footage is a lot cleaner. I just didn't need this 18mm wide lens on my shoot too often, because I was mainly using the 1.33x cinemorphic lens, which gives you a wider field of view anyways. As far as editing goes, even in super low light, the Apple Log is very capable and I can really push and pull the image a lot. The noise is fine and it doesn't look too distracting. We do see some noise reduction algorithms being applied, but it's not that heavy, and all in all I did change quite a lot of hues and colors and the image still holds up well. So here's the log footage without any grades so you can see all the noise. Here is my grade without film emulation with Dehancer. It looks really nice in my opinion, but I wanted to give this image a bit of a grungy vibe. So I used Dehancer film emulation plugin and my favorite Kodak Aero Color 4 film stock, with just a touch of fine grain, halation and bloom effects. And also I was pushing the image more towards yellow and cyan tones to create color contrast. If you want to learn more about Dehancer or working with Apple Log, I'll leave a couple of in-depth tutorials in the description. Oh yeah, and of course I added some sound design. One of the most irritating issues of filmmaking with iPhone in low light is the reflection of the sensor if you point the camera directly to a bright source of light. And I did see those artifacts a couple of times, but they were not overwhelming, and if you frame your shots accurately, you can almost eliminate those completely. I didn't use cinematic mode in this video because you cannot film in Apple Log with the cinematic mode. But it would be really cool to have such an option one day, and I do hope it's possible. Smash the like and subscribe buttons if you also want this feature in your iPhone. To conclude, I'm really satisfied with the results, and the Freewell Sherpa lenses also gave me some versatility. So if you're interested in those, here is a full review of Freewell Sherpa Mega Kit for filmmaking and photography. See you in the next video, guys. Take care. Bye.